here's the thing. I'm the lead analyst for UCAS and hosted IP telephony. So anything and everything that happens in the world of enterprise telephony and UC more broadly speaking is of great interest to me. And for years, I have been, advocating for the move to cloud communications and cloud PBX. And the market is moving in that direction, as I mentioned earlier. But I want to show you on the next chart where we are today and where customers expect to be in 2027. Okay, so if you look on the left side, this is what our customers, and sorry, I didn't mention actually who we surveyed. We surveyed about 1,200 IT and telecom decision makers globally, and they span the spectrum of C-level, VP, director, manager, as well as uh, they vary from line of business managers to IT, varying IT roles. So anyway, and in terms of companies, that includes everybody from SMB to large enterprise. So if we look on the left side, what these IT decision makers tell us is that very few of the organizations they represent currently operate entirely premises-based environments or even predominantly premises-based. I'm a little bit puzzled by the 1% there. To be honest, this is a little bit too drastic. I think we have quite a bit of premises-based infrastructure still sitting out there, but it still is aligned with where I see the market today. There are quite a few at the bottom there that are running predominantly cloud-based or entirely cloud-based environments. But what is really interesting is that everybody from the 6% of predominantly premises-based through the two hybrid options with almost equal proportions of cloud and prem in the middle, to predominantly cloud-based, the 21%. That's all hybrid. So hybrid comes with its complexities, with its unique requirements for harmonizing calling plans and extension dialing and user experiences across all these different communication solutions. There are consequences and implications related to how you integrate with other, third-party communication solutions and third-party platforms in general. Now, if we look at 27, there is, minimal change in entirely prem and predominantly prem-based solutions. Also, not a very dramatic change in predominantly cloud and entirely cloud-based. We're still looking at a very, very, very hybrid environment in customer organizations, even in 27. Now, if we move to the next slide, we're going to see how this looks across customer sizes. Somewhat surprising, the smaller businesses up to 100 users, which were among the early adopters of cloud communications, appear to be very similar to their larger counterparts. Again, lots of hybrid, quite a bit of cloud, minimal premises-based solutions. You can explore this at your leisure eventually, but I think the takeaway is clear. Cloud environments will be common across business sizes. So let's look at the segmentation by regions. Similarly, North America, LATAM, Europe, APAC. What you see is that bulge in the middle of the curves. It's primarily hybrid with some interesting variations. I mean, Latin American organizations seem to be a little bit more aggressive in their aspirational thinking about 27. They appear to be moving to the cloud a little bit faster than the others. I know from my research that's not exactly aligned with the realities we're seeing there. Actually, North America is pretty ahead of everybody else. APAC appears to be a little bit more aspirational in terms of having more integrated hybrid solutions. That's the 53% versus the others. which are a little bit more spread across the different categories. But again, very, very similar scenarios across the regions. On the next slide, you will see that organizations across the board are adopting various communications and collaboration solutions beyond cloud PBX and telephony in general. You know that during the pandemic, many organizations adopted video conferencing and team spaces. And by 27, pretty much all organizations out there will have these technologies in their environments. You need to be cautious because this is what you see kind of towards the bottom with cloud PBX. But the previous charts already showed that not all the users within customer organizations will be enabled with these functionalities by 27. So, several takeaways. Customers are adopting a lot of digital technologies, including some of these next generation collaboration solutions. That creates complexity, creates challenges for companies to align the life cycles of these solutions, to harmonize, integrations across these solutions, choose the right vendors, decide whether they want best of breed or multi-vendor, or single vendor end-to-end solutions. But this creates opportunities for service providers to cross-sell and upsell. If you have your footprint within many organizations with cloud telephony, this means you can upsell them with video or team spaces or call recording, mobile and desktop calling apps, or perhaps some other some cloud contact center. This is something that many organizations are looking to adopt as they move to cloud communications, and I'll show you some data specifically about this on a slide later on. I think that's all on this slide for now.
Elke, the one thing I just have a comment on this one before we move on, and it's just interesting because you got a dozen factors here that 90% of the customers that you surveyed, excuse me, there goes the light in the room, 90% of the customers that you surveyed said were important to them, and that they, were looking for those in their adoption. Yes, that they will adopt them. Yeah. And some of them are driven by that shutdown in the analog networks that we're seeing in many places, like where you have service providers basically declassifying or delisting services and stopping to offer them. And some of them are things like fax, that technology that we just can't get to die. Finally, being something that people are taking the forklift and move to their cloud solution. So it's just interesting that when you look at all these, we think about video collaboration and remote work and people that are in different areas, working closely together. But reality is, this is basically everything you do from a business communications perspective, that 90% of the people that you survey said we're adopting that, we're moving it, to the cloud.
I think this points to the need for kind of consultative engagement with customers. You kind of have to dig sometimes really deep to uncover some of these opportunities. What happens with these POTS lines that you were talking about, the analog lines, the elevators, the alarms within customer organizations, sometimes they don't know what they have. So if you're a service provider that has these capabilities in your portfolio, it's important to bring it up in conversations and kind of inventory these existing solutions together with the customer to uncover opportunities, because sometimes they're not fully conscious of right. What's there and what needs upgrading.
Yeah, no, excellent. So thank you. One of the themes that you touch on is just that video collaboration and conferencing. And that's one thing I just wanted to talk about with the NetSapiens platform is we do deliver a meeting and webinar capability within our platform that allows people to collaborate from any location on any device through the method of their choice. And, whether that's a mobile application or on their PC we aren't using that today. It's kind of funny because it's not funny, but it's the reality of the world we live in, is that before a meeting today, I actually started from a cold boot on my computer because I always do that before a webinar. And we're still having some technical difficulties with the screen share working. But a lot of us go work through, whether it's a NetSapiens platform or other tools, we join meetings on 3, 4, or 5 different meeting platforms in any given day. And, this is one of the areas that I hope all of us vendors work out over time, just a higher degree of reliability and interoperability between platforms. So one of the things that we've also focused on besides our own meeting client is the really powerful integration into Microsoft Teams. We aren't covering Teams in today's webinar, but it's a platform that many people use for meetings. And so being able to enable the meeting capability within a Teams environment as well. So we see as a company, those things you had at the top of your list as being those critical requirements that customers just have to have. And because we work in a distributed work environment today, and that's kind of the world we live in. So anyways, just to fill in a gap a little bit on how the NetSapiens platform helps to meet those trends that you were talking to. So